Welcome to this Ask Zenler. So in this Ask Zenler, what we're going to talk about today is live classes. So we've got this new feature under lives where you can actually add live sessions into a course. So let's have a look. We've got a course set up here. I'm just going to come into this course and show you it quickly. So here we go. We've got this one-to-one live session. It could be a group session, doesn't have to be one-to-one. And if we click edit to this, you're going to see that we can go through, obviously set up all our pages, pricing if you want drip, and any automation that you've got inside the course, and of course your course details, and then the important curriculum. So inside the curriculum itself, you'll see I've got a section set up called a live session, and this is where I'm going to put in my live class. Okay, so let's just leave this here and jump across to the live, and we'll set up a live, and then we're going to drop it into this course, which is this one-to-one live session course. So let's jump into live now. Just go over to live and hit the live tab here. Let's go and hit live. And you're going to see that we have all our live class, live interactive webinar, live stream. Now, because it's going into a course, it is a class. So it's a live class. So we're going to go live class, and we're going to get this screen come up, and we're going to click create live class. So of course we go to our familiar screen. Now for you guys that have used the live class, the older version before we brought this new update out, you will be missing this bit down here which says you can add this live class to a course. It's disappeared because we no longer need it. We can set it inside the course itself. This gives us a lot more flexibility. If we have a lot of different live classes set up, we can go into different courses and select the live class to go in that particular course. Okay, so let's go and set this up. I'm going to call this live session or live workshop, and we're going to set a time for that. I'm going to put this going out on the 22nd, and I'm going to put this in at 12, and we'll put that in at 0, so 12 a.m. Let's make it p.m. Select your time zone, of course, maximum number of attendees. So in this case, I put 400 in here. You can set this for recurring, and then when someone registers inside the course, when they click going, which we're going to do later, then it will actually add them to all of the reoccurring lives if you've got recurring going. I prefer personally to set up a live per event, so I can put it into my syllabus as a live event per event as opposed to recurring for live classes, but that's my personal opinion. If you're going to use recurring, like all these things, you need to make sure that you're testing this stuff. Now of course we've put a maximum attendees, and I've put the duration. So in this case, let's put in here, I would normally run an hour, so I give myself a little bit more time. I do an hour and 15 just in case it runs over. Now of course we've got the inbuilt passwords. We've got make the live class secret, which basically doesn't show it in the dynamic class block that you can add to pages, and you can ask for a password when joining as well if you want to. So let's go and set up the card for this. So I have a course card already set up that I'm going to grab for this, and here it is here, this one-to-one. I'm going to click, I've got a group one as well. Let's just add group one and click open. So obviously just go in here and crop our image down as we would normally, and everything's exactly the same as you normally would do. Okay, so we set this up. We now need to go to next. So we'd set up our theme. I'm going to choose this basic looking theme here, and I'm going to click finish. Now of course you need to go through your pages, but by default the pages will look quite nice. If we go and preview these pages, that's how it's going to show. Of course you can go in here and you can style these however you like. You've got the first part of it, which is the register page. You've got the thank you page, the waiting page, and the replay page. Now remember, this is going to be inside a course, so they're not going to register because they're already inside the course, so they're just going to click going. They won't see any of these pages, they'll just see it inside the course. Okay, but we still have these pages, and why do we have these pages? Well, later on I'm going to show you how you can have it in the course, but you can also create it as a paid event as well. So for instance, if you have 10 people inside a course and you have this live inside that course, they can click it and they get access for free. But if you want to also bring people outside into this live that you're running at the same time, you can also charge them, and you'll charge them by using the register link and the pricing here, and we'll look at that in a minute. But this is finished for now. Now obviously you would go into your automations and set them up as well. So you'd go into a register one here, which is the registration. I'm not going to change anything in here, I'm just going to leave it on the default down here. So it says the name of the person, it says the live class, obviously the from email from me, and the name, mail subject there, and you can see that's live, so it's active. But we also have a reminder sequence here, so you can set this reminder sequence to go on as well, and I can make that live there. Again, you can edit this as much as you like in here, and this is 1 hour before the scheduled time this will come on, and we're going to click yes to that. And this is 1 day before. I'm going to make this one live as well. And there we go. So we have this all set up and ready to go. So that's our live created with our automations. We've set our pages up and we have that event. So if I go back to live classes now, you're going to see this is the event in here called Live Workshop, starting on the 22nd of January 2022. Okay, so now let's jump into our course and let's add this live that we created here into the course. So we're going to jump to courses now. I'm going to jump into here, jump into the curriculum, and on my first lesson I'm going to put in here add a lesson, and I'm going to go your live event. And if you've got more than one live that you set up, you can pick from them as well. So I've called it that. I'm going to save that quickly. Now we're going to click on the live. So we click on live and we're going to go live class, select a live class. Notice you can also create a new live class here, but I'm going to click on here and I'm going to go down to the one that we have, which is live workshop. Now let me just, before I add that, let me just go in and just show you that you do get more selections the more lives you've got. So we set that up. I'm just going to jump back to our live by opening that as a new tab. And I'm just going to clone the live that I've got in here. Okay, just so that you can see the difference. I'm going to go clone live. We'll put that to 1 hour 15, and maybe we'll make this on the 30th at 12. So this is cloning that live. So the great thing about cloning, of course, is it keeps all the page design, all the automations, all of these things with the clone. So let's click clone that, and you're going to see it will come up here. So I'm going to call this, let's call this 2. Okay, and I'm just going to click update. Now you want to change this as well, the URL, and I'll click update. And now if I go back into live classes, I've got 2 in here. I've got live workshop and I've got live workshop 2. So I've got one running on Saturday, one running on Sunday. So let's now jump back to our course and let's use the picker. And you're going to see 2 of those lives come up now because we've got 2 inside here. So let's go to our live event and let's add that live in there. So click live, we're going to go select class, and you can see I've now got 2 of them on there. So I can pick which one I like. So maybe I'll do this one first and click done. And you're going to see that it comes up in there. And you can see if I add a new lesson in here, I'll go live event 2. Like so. I can then go in, save that, and I can click that live event 2. So I can select whichever one I like so. And that's dropped in there. So I've got my events. You can see that is on Sunday, and that one is on Saturday. So we haven't looked at what the user sees yet, so we'll be looking at that in a minute. But before I do that, I'm going to set up another live event, but I'm going to use that create button. So I'm going to add a new lesson here. Let's call this live event 3. So let's go live event 3. Okay, save that, and let's go down to our live and let's go create new live class. So you're going to see that it brings you straight into the live section. So I'm going to call this live workshop. Let's call this 3. And I've got to go through the whole process. So it's not as quick as cloning. That's why I tend not to use this method. It's definitely not as quick as cloning because I can just clone it and select it from the list. But I just wanted to show you that just so that you can see. So I've set this one up for Monday, and this is live event 3. Got the time zone. Again, you set your time and you go through the process of setting all of the stuff up. So let me just go in there and let me just pick this one-to-one course card, just because it's a little bit different from the other one, and come in there, crop and save, and click next. And I'm clicking next now, and I'm going to go in there, I'm going to finish this one. And remember guys, you know, with this stuff you can easily go back in and edit it if you need to. So I've got this registration page, that's all by default. I'm not going to change that, but generally you would go in there and customize all of those pages. I'm going to jump into the automations now. Again, this one's already working with our default text in there, and I'm just going to turn these reminders on inside here, which I think is a good idea to have your reminders on there. By the way guys, when I set this on, if I've already run this so it's a reoccurring and I've got students in there and I don't want them to have this email, I could put no to existing so they wouldn't receive the email. So if I want to set a new one up, I could actually click no, and it wouldn't go to the existing people, it would go to any new people that have come in. If I want to send this email out to existing people in there, I would click yes. With this case it doesn't matter because I've got no registered users inside this at all. So this is all set up now, these are all live. So now you've done that, you can go back to your course and you can add those in there. So you're going to see under the lives now, let me just close that down, go back to lives. You're now going to see I've got 3 in here. I've got this new one that we created for Monday, which is workshop 3. So if I jump back into the course now, I can just go and add that one in as another live inside here. So let's go into the live event here, pick this new live, which will be live 3. You can see it's there, and click done. So create live event from here is good, but I prefer to go in there and actually set it up before. So I've set all my lives up before, and then I can just pick them using the picker inside here. It's a lot better. So that's how it works. It's pretty easy, you know. You just go in there, you set all those things up, and it will work. So let's look at this course as a student. What does a student see, and what does the student receive as well, which is most important. So I'm now going to log in. As usual, I would log in and incognito. If you haven't got a user, you don't know how to set a user up, you can just go into site, and then you can go to students, and you can basically add a user. And when you add a user, you just put the name, email address, set a password, and then down here you just enroll them into that course. So in this case I would enroll them into this course, and you can then set them in there, and that's how you set up a student. So then they would get access, so then you log in incognito. So I've already set myself up in this course. I can see that I'm set up because if I go into the edit, go under courses, you can see that I'm in there. There he is. So I can use incognito to see what the student experience is like. So let's go in there now and set ourselves up as that. Just going to take this email address for speed here. So let's go in and do this. Let's go into incognito. I'm using Chrome. We're going to go to the little dots and go new incognito window, and then I'm going to put in the domain, and we're going to sign in. Let's sign in here. Click I'm not a robot and click login. Now I'm logged in. I can see under my courses, and I can see that I've got access to that live session that we just added those lives to. I'm going to click inside here, and you're going to see your live events. You're also going to see what pops up on the right hand side is the workshops. So if I was to click here, here and here, it would tell me, or it would then fire off the email. So automatically add you to that live. Now if you've got pop-up blocker turned off, or people have got blocker turned off, then they won't see this, but it doesn't matter, because as a fallback, if you go into the lesson like start, you're going to get in page book my spot. So let's have a look at what happens when I book my spot. So if I click book my spot now, what will happen is my emails will fly out. So it tells me when it's happening, and I will get all my email automations that associate with this live. Again, if I did exactly the same thing with this, the same thing would happen. The automations would fly out. So let's look in our Gmail account now and see that we've received these emails. So here we go, I'm on my Gmail account and you can see here that I have received this. You have successfully registered. So if I click inside this email, you can see I have successfully registered for live workshop, and it gives me the URL for the join link and add to the calendar. And if I click that, it's going to take me to the page here. And I can, as soon as this countdown timer hits 0, a little button will appear here to join, but I can also join it directly in the course itself. So if I'm in the course at that particular time, you can see it says book my spot. If I'm in the course at the right time and I click into this live, then the live will start inside here, meaning I don't need to go to that page, that register page. I can go straight to here and see the live happening right in front of me. So as long as I turn up in here and I've booked my spot, by clicking in here, book my spot, then I'm going to get it. So if I hit this one, the automations will fly out for this. Now remember, when we set those automations up, we also set up the automations to fire off. So if I go to the Saturday, this is the one that we're booked on. If I go into this one here and we go to automations, the first email that you saw just then was this email, and that's flown out to me lovely, this email here. And then it will send another email out 1 hour before the scheduled time, and then 1 day before the scheduled time as well. So 1 day and then 1 hour before the scheduled time. So you set this up. Of course, you can add more actions in there as well. And that's how it works. So let's start the live now and show you what happens from your point of view. So when you're actually running it, so you know how it all works, how we set it up, that the automations fly out for every time they book themselves on one of the lives, and it gives them reminders because you've set all those up in automations. So you know how all that's working, you know what the student's going to receive because we just looked at their email. So let's now look and see what happens when it's about to run live. Okay, so remember, those emails will go out for them to join. So we're going to basically join in to the course. I'm going to start the live and we're going to go in there. Now one of the cameras will be off because I've only got one, because I'm screen recording now, and I've also got I'm going to be running the Zoom as well inside here. So you might not see my face on there, but it's just basically because one of the cameras being taken up, okay, for this. So let's show you that now. So I've reset my live, and so that it's happening in the next hour. So you can see I've also received this next automated email as well. I just wanted to show you that you received that. Now, because I've set it in more than an hour, as soon as that hour hits, I'll receive the last email that we had in the automations as well, which is this one here, 1 hour's time. So I've received the first register email, I've received the 1 day before, and now I'm going to receive this when it hits the hour before the live. So that shows that all of the automations are working for this part of it. So let's jump in and see now how it works from the admin and the student's point of view as far as seeing the live. So now, as I've set the time to 10:25 and it's actually 10:13, I should have received that last email, which was an hour before. So let's just check our emails and make sure that I've received them as a student, remember. And as you can see, I have received this last one as well. So that's been emailed out to me. Now, also remember that inside of the automations, if you open the automations up, you can see that it's delivered them as well. So it's delivered them all out perfectly fine. So I'm ready to start this. So as you would turn up for your live as the admin, you would go into your live class. This one would be starting in 5 minutes, so you probably start a few minutes before just to get started. So we don't need to go into the course at this stage, we just need to start the live, and then it will be thrown straight into the course so people in the course can see it. So if I hit start live now, it says start live will end 15 minutes after the set duration. So you can start 15 minutes before, and then if you run over, it gives you an extra 15 minutes. So make sure that you do end at that time so that you don't interrupt the flow of the actual live. So let's click start live class now, and this will open up our Zoom as usual, and we will launch the meeting, and that will open up on my screen here, and it will then connect me to the live. I now have the live running, so I'm going to leave the audio off. Let's just go in here, show you that I'm actually live now. So you can see I'm all ready. And what is the student seeing at this stage? Because we started it. Now remember, we're not starting till another 5 minutes. So it's 5 minutes before it will show. So we're going to jump into what the student's seeing on their side of things and have a look. So I've got my Zoom already set up with my chat and all that stuff and me in there. And I will go and have a look now at what the student sees. So this is a student who's logged into the course. Remember, they've also got a reminder as well. So we're in this live event and you're going to see that it'll open up here. So because the Zoom has started, so I'm just going to allow this, accept cookies, and this is all good. So we can join the meeting here. And you might have to hit these bits. So we're joining the meeting now. And there we are there. So you can see, let's just mute that. So you can see that I'm there and I'm also, this is me as a student and this is me as the host here. So you can see how it all works. So they just basically go into the course and see that. So you can see when it starts, it goes join in Zoom, so or join from your browser. So you have two, so you can join in Zoom or join from the browser. So let me just cancel out of this. So I'm just going to close that window down there and I'm going to join from the browser. So that's joining from the browser, or you can join directly inside Zoom there as we did earlier. So there it goes, there we go. So we're in the Zoom now inside there and you can see that I'm there. This is me as the admin and this is a participant. So all your participants will pop up here. Obviously, like I said, I've got the camera going here. So I've only got one camera, so I can't show the camera in either John or Zenler there. But that's how it works. So really easy to work with, really nice experience for the user. They can just go in there and they've got those two options. So let me just minimize this. So they've got those two options inside the course itself to join from the browser or join in Zoom itself, and that all, it works absolutely fine. So that's how it works inside that browser. So a very nice clean experience for your user. Little bit, maybe a little bit messed up because I'm recording, I'm doing a Zoom, starting a Zoom, and I'm joining as a student as well. So it should be a lot smoother. Test it on your tablet and things like that to see the experience yourself. But that's how you can test it. Now, one last thing I need to bring to your attention is the fact that we do have paid lives as well. You know, we do have paid for live classes and live interactive webinars. So how does that work with this? So if you set this as a live, how would that work if it was paid? So I'm going to stop all my zooming now and I'm just going to show you how that works. So let me just zoom out there. I'm just going to just close this down and go back to here. So if we want to charge, what's going to happen here is we can actually charge for our lives. So I'm going to use this one here. I'm just going to reset this time before it runs out. Let me just put this on something like that. Click update. If we want to set a price, so what happens if we set a price? So you know now that you can add a live into a course and you get that nice user experience. But what if you want people in a course or a bundle? So you've got lives inside there. If you want to charge people, so you've got people in the course and you want to give them this free session, but you also want to get leads from outside, or you want to charge people for this one session. So how can we do both, right? So we can do both easily because remember, we still have pages set up so they can still register. So by using the registration page and then activating the pricing, we can actually charge them. So for this particular one, I'm going to use a brand new one. I'm going to charge out for this one that's happening on the Monday. So this one-to-one session. So I'm going to go in there and we're going to just edit this and I'm going to add a pricing to it. So I'm going to go into pricing here and I'm going to go add a new pricing plan, and inside here I'm going to choose pounds, and I'm going to make this £25 to join this live session. Join this live paid. Okay, now this is for people to pay for this, so I'm going to click add, and it says please update your country in the profile. That's because I got a physical. Let me just put this and say tax exempt and click add. So this live is now paid 25, but it doesn't affect the users that are in the course. So if you're in the course and you've got this in the curriculum, you've got this new one, which is this live event workshop 3, they can just join that and they're not going to have to pay. But if you want people to pay, all you need to do is send them the link, because they're not part of the course, so you always have to get in touch with them anyway. So if you go into the live one-to-one here and we grab the pages inside here, you can send them through the page sequence. Now remember that if these lives are in a course, they don't need to go through all these pages. They just see it in the browser and they just jump straight into the live. But we still have these pages set up, and we've done this for a reason. We've done this because you guys might want to run a live in a course, but you also might want to charge people external who haven't paid for the course for taking part in the live, the one-off live. So you can easily do that by sending them through the registration, checkout, thank you, waiting and replay page. And then the automation, same way that you've got the automations here that fire out for the courses, also fire out for paid as well. So we can copy this URL, and I'm going to jump into incognito now, and we're going to now go through that process. So we've got our live workshop. It tells you when it's running. It is a paid, so we're going to click register now. It's going to bring up now our PayPal, so they can pay for the £25, put their email address in there, and then they have access. They're going to get the emails when they should turn up for the live, and they can go in there and it's paid for. So you've got two options there. One, you can run these as paid on their own. One, you can run them in the course as lives inside the course, or a mix and match. You can also have them in the course and they get access for free, and you can charge external people to come into the same live, and you can charge them as well. And of course you can give them a coupon. Now this might be worth you doing if you're doing this sort of thing, but if you're actually just running it for leads and it's not part of a course, you'll probably want to use the webinar side of things rather than doing it as a class. All right, so that brings us to the end of this quite comprehensive part on how you can set up and run lives. I always say to everybody, test this stuff out. You know, test it out, set up your live as you want to, and you know, get it all so it's all looking good. And then just to test it all out, just do a clone of it, set it for a few minutes, and then just run through that sequence and make sure it all works. And that way you're not affecting the original, you're just working on a clone to see the user experience. So that brings us to a live, so at the end of the live classes. And so you can see how really versatile this is, that we can actually use this for paid lives. You know, you can put the live straight into the course. And of course, if you're running a paid event, just not in a course, you'd probably want to run the live interactive webinars here, webinars in there, so you can then charge them, because you can do exactly the same in here. You can go in here and you can, again, you can charge them inside here as well, because we have that pricing option inside there as well. All right, so that is how lives work. I know a lot of you wanted a little bit more of an in-depth look at lives and how they work, and that is it. It's really simple, really easy to work with. It integrates now much more closely with the courses, and this ability of putting the lives and selecting your lives, more importantly, inside is really important. Now, one thing I would like to point out, that if people have got the pop-up blocker put on their course, then they might not see that little thing coming up. So I like to put into the page, I actually like to put a little bit of a list of the lives if you've got more than one. So I'm going to jump into the marketing course that we're running. I'm going to show you how we set that up. I'm just going to show you the block inside there so you can see. So I'm inside the tutorial site here, where we're running a 5-day marketing challenge, and if you look under live classes, you're going to see that I've got all the lives set up inside here. Okay, they're all inside here ready to go. So these lives have been put into the course. So I'm going to jump into the course now, and you can have a look at that. So if I go into courses, you can see our marketing your first course challenge here. And if we go to the pages inside here, you're going to see that on the access page, once they've gone through the course part here, then they're going to see this. So all I've done is put a block in here telling people when the dates are. This is just in case they've got the pop-up blocker in there, and then they can book their slots inside here. And this is how the curriculum is set up. I've just picked the live that's associated with that day and got the times in there as well, so they can see exactly when things are going on, and you've got this bit of information as well that tells them. So you could put another note in here: if you have the pop-up blocker turned on, make sure that you book your spot inside the curriculum itself, which is this area. Okay, so if someone jumped into here, they could mark themselves down as book my spot inside there. So that's lives, that's how they work. It's pretty simple stuff. But it takes a little bit getting your head around. Just to remember, the importance of lives is that you set up a live class. You've obviously got a course where you're going to drop those live classes into. If you decide also to do a paid, have it running into the live course and also do it as paid, then you'll need to send the link of the live out to people so they can pay. So you'll need to come into here, and if people are paying for it, then you'll need to send them this link. But obviously if they're in the course, they don't need any of this because they can book it all from within the course itself. So that is another workshop from us at Zenler about this lovely live class feature that we've introduced into the platform.